welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys the recipe. You know the one. The recipe. 'Tis the season for the recipe. You guys have been asking me for this recipe since I started YouTube, since I started social media. You guys have asked me, Sahar, where is the tamale recipe? And to be quite honest with you guys, I had never made them in my life. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a tamale. I love unwrapping the gift that it is a tamale. But I always had a tamale lady. Now, I don't know about you guys, but growing up, I always heard tamales are so hard to make. Please dreading the tamales, gotta get the village to do the tamales. And so I grew up with the notion that tamales were hard to make. So here I am put in this position where I have to provide the tamales. So I was like, whoa, well, are they really that hard to make? I need to find out. And they're not hard to make. Tamales are not hard to make. Get rid of that notion right now. What tamales are, they're delicious, but you have to be patient. And you need to prepare to make tamales. Now, if you have a village to help you, this should be a breeze. Now, if you don't, and you're solo like me, like you have to do it on your own, then preparation is key. But they are not hard to make. They are the easiest thing to make, and they are delicious, and they are literally a gift from the universe. They are amazing, and today I'm going to show you how to make tamales, vegan tamales. Now, like I said before, all we need to do is prepare. So this video, it's a two-part video. So today I'm going to show you how to make the filling. At the end of this video, you can go to the next video where I will show you how to make the masa and this beautiful thing we call a tamale, or like I like to call them, un tamal. The ingredients we're going to need are guajillo, pasilla, ancho, morita, and arbol. Now these are all the peppers that we're going to use. Now I know that the pasilla and the ancho look very similar, but they are not the same peppers, so definitely get both. For spices, we are going to need chicken bouillon, and I'm using a powder form of a chicken bouillon, pink Himalayan rock salt, whole oregano. Now the measurements that I'm going to put in the description box below are for whole oregano. Do not use powder. Use whole oregano, and you can find this at your Mexican Latin store. We're going to use cumin, black pepper. These are, we call them pimienta gorda, but I think they are called sweet pepper, and they look just like this. If you go to a Latin store, you will find them there, no problem. I'm also going to use bay leaves. You already know, a bunch of garlic. We are going to use onion. And for the meat, for the filling, I'm using jackfruit. I'm using 12 cans of this jackfruit. Now, I already have a video on how to prepare it to get a neutral flavor. So I suggest that after you watch this video, you go and see how to prepare it. So once you do that, you get it to a neutral flavor. Once you basically clean the jackfruit, you come back and you watch this video again and you start doing all of this. So once I prepare the jackfruit and the 12 cans, I get this right here. And it looks just like meat. It's a lot of meat. Now this is the 12 cans, but out of those 12 cans, I also separated some because this is mole, and I'm not showing you how to make this one, but because I am making tamales, I just wanted to show you that I did separate the meat. So there is more meat, and this is with mole, but that'll be another time, a video for another day, my friends. Now for the peppers, you are going to devein them. I don't know if that's the proper translation, but in Spanish we say desvenar, which means that we're going to cut them on the side and we're going to take all the seeds out. We're going to do that with all of the peppers. Now, if you want a little kick to your sauce, I would say leave the seeds for the moritas. That's what I'm going to do because we like a little spicy here. A little spice. It's going to have a nice kick. I would say that if you can handle a little spice, leave the seeds for the morita, which are these little ones right here. Take the seeds for all of the rest. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the seeds out of all this, and I will be right back. Okay, so I took all the seeds out of all the chilies except the morita, and I'm going to add them to this pot with water. It doesn't matter how much water, you just need to be able to submerge all these chilies. Now, some people just kind of toast the chilies dry. They don't fry them, just toast them before they add them to the water. You can. It brings out even more flavor of the pepper. I'm not going to do that. I'm not trying to do that this time around, but you can. So we're gonna let this come up to a boil. And once it boils, we're going to turn off the fire and we're gonna let them sit here for about 15 minutes. What we want essentially is to soften these dry chilies so we can blend them. In the meantime, I am going to start frying the jackfruit. In a hot pan, you are going to add some oil. Now we are going to fry our jackfruit. You don't have to do this. You can just fry the sauce and add it to the jackfruit and mix it in and let it sit overnight. Then the day that you're doing the tamales, that's when you can utilize it. I like to fry it and then add the sauce and cook it all together. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add my jackfruit in the hot pan. Now this jackfruit is only prepared to get rid of the brine flavor. I will put the video on how to do that on a link above and on the description box below. So this is not seasoned, it's just prepared so it's neutral. So to this, I'm going to add salt, just a little bit of salt, a little bit of chicken bouillon, and some black pepper, freshly cracked black pepper. Okay, our chilies, our peppers are boiling. So, let me show you. I'm gonna turn off the fire. I'm gonna press them down just real quick. And I'm gonna put a timer on for 15 minutes. And then this should be ready to blend. Okay, back to our jackfruit. I'm just going to mix this in real quick. It smells so yummy in here. So the reason I'm doing this, a 2-part video, so you don't get overwhelmed. You can do this a day or 3 ahead of time, so you don't have to do it all at once. Get your fillings done before you assemble and make your tamales. This will make your life so much easier. And in fact, you allow the meat or your vegetables, whatever you're adding, you allow it to marinate in the sauce that you're putting in. So it's better and better and better. It's a win-win-win. And it's getting a nice little fry. Now, I only added some salt, some chicken bouillon, and some pepper. I actually need to taste it to see if it needs any more salt, any more bouillon, any more pepper. It could use a little more bouillon. Now I will say that the sauce is what's gonna give this all the flavor. We're just adding some flavor to the meat so it's not flavorless. Now the amount of salt and bouillon that you add to your jackfruit is entirely up to you. Now if you didn't want to make this much meat or this much sauce, you can totally make less. You can half the recipe. But I will say that if you're gonna go through all of this, of the process of this, maybe just cook some of the tamales and freeze the others. It's totally up to you. You don't have to eat them all at once, or you can cook them all at once and then freeze them. So our meat is looking pretty good. Now that our meat is ready, actually, it's been the 15 minutes, and now we get to blend our ingredients to make the sauce. So let me show you how to do that. So the time is up for the chili. Now I'm going to transfer them straight to the blender. Oh, they smell so good. And they're nice and soft now. And ready to make a delicious sauce. the sauce. Delicious sauce. Yummy, yummy. You guys, these tamales are going to come out amazing. We have a little runaway there, but it's all right. It's back. We're gonna make sure we get everything. See, because some of them get hidden in there and it's like, no, no, no. We need you, little buddy. Okay, now that we have all the chilies in here, let's move on to the next thing. Now that we have all our chilies in, we're going to add the onion, the garlic. Now, like I said before, the exact measurements will be on the description box below. The pepper, the sweet pepper, or pimienta gorda, the black pepper, the cumin. Again, the spices, if you want to toast them to bring out their fragrance and make this even more delicious, you can. I'm not gonna do this. I didn't do it the last time, so I'm just gonna skip it. So here goes the whole cumin. Whole cumin, you guys, not powder. I mean, you could use powder, but they're not the same measurements that I'm giving you. But I always feel that whole is always best. Because you can always grind it if you needed powder. Whole oregano going in. The rock salt, pink Himalayan salt going in. Chicken bouillon going in. And as you notice, I'm not adding in the bay leaf. You'll see why after. I'm going to blend. All right, let's blend. Okay, she's a little thick. She is definitely a little thick. I'm going to add some of the some. Here I have a little bit over half a cup. I'm going to go in with, oh my gosh, and a chili. Little guy try to get away. And I'm going to blend again, and we'll see. We'll see where we are with this. I feel that it could still use a little more. That's good. I'm going to add a little more of the water. So, ooh, it has a little spice. Like, this is what's fun about cooking. It doesn't have to be so exact, you know. You play with it. Go with your taste buds and see. Here we go again. It is good now. This is still thick, but I want it this thick because I'm not going to use all of this sauce on the meat. I'm also going to save some. Just remember that we're gonna save some, and I will show you why. This is the thickness of it. So it's a little runny, but not too much. Okay, we're gonna taste to see how it is on flavor. I like it. Now we're going to add it to the meat. So we are going to add as much sauce as we think the meat needs. Now you do just want to reserve about 2 cups of it, but this is totally up to you, how much sauce you think it needs. And the pan is on medium, high to medium, just a medium. It's gonna need more sauce. And what I like to do when I make my tamales, even though that I do marinate this jackfruit and it's nice and soaked, I still do add a little more sauce every time I assemble my tamales, just because I like it. Just because. Okay, so I added more. I'm gonna turn down the fire. I just want to kind of cook this sauce just a little bit. I mean, we did soak the chilies. I'm just kind of frying the sauce a little bit with this jackfruit. Incorporating it all together. I'm gonna bring it down to low, or lowish. It smells so bomb. I'm going to save 2 cups of this, and then I'll tell you what we need to do. Okay, there goes the 2 cups. I am going to turn off the fire and let this be for a second. Now, our blender still has a lot of sauce in there. I'm gonna grab a splasheroo of water to clean it all up. And once I do, I'm gonna add it to this bowl here, because this is the sauce See, there's still some in here. This is the sauce that we're going to add to. Okay, now that our meat is ready, we are going to transfer it to another container. Now, the reason I'm not leaving it on the pan is because the pan is hot and it's going to continue to cook and dry out the sauce. So I'm going to add it into here. Into this, I'm going to add the bay leaves. It's a lot of meat, y'all. Now, depending too on how much meat you like to add to your tamales, I always say this to you guys, I don't like to add a lot of meat to like the food. Or at least I think, maybe because I grew up with like they would add too much meat, I don't know. But to me, I feel like I don't think it's a lot. I don't like adding a lot. So in my tamales, I don't put a lot of meat. But if you do, then you can double this up and make more or less. It's totally up to you. Now we have our meat in here. We're gonna let it cool off. I'm just trying to move those bay leaves around. You can even break them in big pieces so you can take them out. You can even have added them when you fry the sauce. I just didn't do that, but you totally could. Now I'm gonna let this be, and then when it's cooled off, I get to put it in the fridge for tomorrow when I make my tamales. Okay, that's done. Now, with the blender, I added some water. So you don't want to waste any of this delicious, there's a lot of sauce down there. Now I'm gonna push down all the sides, and I'm gonna not waste any of the sauce because this leftover sauce is what I'm going to extra top off the tamales. Now you don't have to do this because now the jackfruit is covered, immersed in sauce, which is perfect. But I still like to add a little more. And if you don't want to do that, like I said, you don't have to. I definitely would. Okay, so now I'm gonna pour all of this sauce into this bowl. And that's a lot of sauce, y'all. And with the water I added in there, I was able to smooth it out because I don't need it so thick for... In fact, if you wanted a smoother sauce, you totally could. And this is just how I did it the last time. And I liked it. But you could totally smooth it out. And this is what we have. You can even add more if you wanted to. But this is the sauce. In fact, there's still a lot of, I'm basically washing my blender because I'm gonna add a little more water to add it to that container. So I basically just added more water and I'm trying to clean my blender here. Now, the amount of water you add is totally up to you. It's based on your judgment of how much is left in there and how much sauce you have and how thin you want to have it. But this, again, this is just to top off your tamales. And I will show you when I am assembling them how I'm using it. This is the sauce. It's nice and smooth and it should be good. Now that's that sauce. Now this sauce, the 2 other cups with the thicker sauce, as you can see, this one is a lot thicker. This we're going to save it for our masa. We're going to add extra oomph of flavor to your masa. Now, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. The masa will still be nice and flavored the other way. But this is the way I grew up with doing my tamales. And this is how I'm going to do it this time. Maybe I'll show you how to make them another way another time. But this time around, it'll be with this. And trust me, you will love it. It's really delicious and it gives it a nice little color. And yeah, so both of these need to cool off. And they'll, in the fridge, they will go along with the jackfruit. And now we're ready to assemble our tamales. So, do yourself a favor. Prepare. Tamales are not that hard to make. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of things. But honestly, if you prepare ahead of time, it will be a breeze. So make your life easier. And it'll be easy breezy. Okay, we're ready. We're done. On to tamale making. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this 2-part video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Share with your friends. share with your family, share with everybody. Don't forget to turn on those notification bells right somewhere on the square somewhere so you don't miss not a one video of yours truly. I'll see you on the next video. Go on, go watch it.